Now, as the ED 2030 jet seems to be staggering and no longer going on straight, we see a whole lot of things happening in Zimbabwe. What has been happening? We saw the emergence of Nelson Chamisa yesterday at an event where he will be giving a speech. But today, we saw none other than Tendai BIti. Today, Tendai BIti on the beat, and he was talking on ED 2030. And he was saying, you think ED can just go like that? The man doesn't do things like that. So he would give us a whole lot of details. So we're going to be watching the video right about now there.
That is now constituting the biggest existential threat.
All right, here he mentions existential threat. All right, now BIti is going active philosophy here, where he is talking of the actual real life human condition, but we're going to be back there. We want to go somewhere to find out some nonsense that has been happening in Zimbabwe. We are talking of a deeper nonsense being perpetrated by some fools who actually wear a uniform and they go for a job pretending to be working for Zimbabwe, yet they are not working for Zimbabwe, but they are just a criminal organization which will be hosted by an organization which will be hosted by an organization which is hosted by the government of Zimbabwe. Yes, we are talking of uniformed criminals. Right, what do we see here? We see this cruel, satanic, whatever, I can find a word for them. What do? When the president car impounded as ZIMRA intensifies clamp down on smuggling. Now, whoever did do that, you are a fool. Shame on you. You think you can intensify clamp down on smuggling by impounding Windy president's car. Okay. So, you have just impounded your job. Basically, that is what should be done to such basic bitches who do such shit as the debt they are. Right? So, apart from this ZIMRA fools, they impounding Windy president car. Right? Shame on them. Shame on them. Right? So, this is a very, very sad happening there. Anyways, so recently when the president had an accident there, now we are seeing this as ZIMRA entitled. These guys, they are very much entitled, right? And enough respect to the Newsday guy who would bring it there. The ZIMRA guys, they are very entitled fools who let drugs and other nonsense come in through our borders. But when they see productive members of society, they become devil's advocates. They become Lucifer's. Lucifer's evangelists. Toxic fools trying to make people feel miserable. So with that, I have noted this one here. The ZIMRA fool is fired. Lord. All right. Let me just finish this video. Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live. This is very disturbing. What we are seeing right there. Okay. So we're going to be finding out and see what ED says about this. With that say, we see another fool in Harari CBD, right? Is a uniformed fool again, right? We should not tolerate this nonsense in our nation. Okay. Of course, if these guys were war veterans, they would at least claim that we did do something. Okay. There are real heroes there like Tongo Gara who are in the spirit. Now this pompous low life. These guys who bring this Harare illegal metro policia, metro thieves, who wake up every day to be harassing people who are going on their life, right? Okay, number one, Zimbabwe does not belong to a person. Zimbabwe belongs to God. Okay, number two, my life, of course, I am the first custodian, and whoever, their life is theirs, but the life begins to God. Now some fool feel entitled that they think they can just run a community and harassing people. Just like this fool here.
Why are you blocking your face?
Shame on you.
Where's the other colleague? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? Iowa. Who's the Maria Tora? Iowa, who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? You see it? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria?
Fellow Zimbabweans, if we are not active as a people, the country is going to the dogs.
Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora? Who's the Maria Tora?
Then you see the thief there running, right? So recently, these are municipality thieves who are uniformed, who work at that place there, where we see Jacob Mafume as the mayor, right? So the government of Zimbabwe is doing an inquiry there to check corruption, or pretending to be doing an inquiry, whatever they are doing there. Okay, so this is the same place where we see one of the hardcore tenders, street light tenders, right? We would see again, they arrest the guys they already arrested, so that they don't arrest any new people. Of course, we're talking of Mike Chimombe, the Moses Mpofu, right? So that they don't arrest more people, so that they can spare those guys who looted that money, so that they can finish showing their money. And when they do finish that money, their life is done. I released that case there. Okay. So, whatever lights, street lights, 8 million. Okay. Okay. It's not okay. So, this one, I'll cover it in depth on another video. This is not the purpose of this video, but rather, I was condemning and cursing these evil spirits out there. I had to speak my word to record it in the atmosphere, in the universe, so that I could kiss them with my own mouth. Now, respect to everybody who's watching us live right now. To those watching us live, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to CCN Live if you have not yet already done so. Let them know when we open our mouth, the devil is in trouble. Big up to Lillian Mark, Heavy, K, Ziri say, Big Master, Ziri say, everybody who's watching us live right about now. Big up, hey. Now, let's go over to Tendai the BIti there. What is Tendai BIti chatting about here? What him talk about? Let's go over there and find out.
To Zimbabwe since independence. It is a disastrous agenda that is the potential of leading this country into a civil war.
It is a disastrous agenda that is a potential of leading this country into a civil war. Do not take these messages lightly, fellow Zimbabweans. Right? It is very true. Okay. Now, here Tendai BIti is talking about a few educated Zimbabweans who are actually literate. If you listen to my background there, the noise and the heckling there coming from actual real life and educated fools who are camped by my gate are there. Some of them will be descendants of Selu scouts and all other types of militias to happen in Zimbabwe. Just that behavior, of course, they are small fish, right? But now, how about those who have a little bit of literacy? There is a potential of Zimbabwe getting into a civil war. Now, let's continue.
It is a disastrous agenda that has got the potential of leading this country into another coup. But this time around, it will not be the seamless coup of November 2017. This time around, it will be Armageddon. It will be a bloodshed. So those people...
So the word he uses there, it will be Armageddon. It is the word that he uses there, Armageddon. Take note of the word Armageddon. Armageddon, hey, Jesus. Let's continue.
Including Emerson, that are pushing this agenda, that are driving this ambitious, ill-advised, ill-thought program. Stop it. And stop it immediately. Because it will shake Zimbabwe. It will cause an unnecessary assault on the body politic and the integrity of Zimbabwe as a nation state. I ask Mr. Mnangagwa, what else do you want to do which you would have failed to do in 10 years? 10 years is a long time.
Thank you very much.
And remember, you were in government.
Yes. What did Mr. Mnangagwa want to do that he failed to do for 10 years? And he was in government before that. Okay. So give me until 2030, guys. I'm going to work out something. I think a new guy is good. In fact, if it's possible to go before 2028, ED must go.
Since 1980. So you've been in government for 44 years. So if you couldn't have done anything in 44 years, and in the 10 years where you're at the helm, you will never be able to do anything else.
So Tendai BIti is a very well-informed guy, a very articulate guy, right there. Tendai BIti is not a politician. Tendai BIti is a businessman, a person who minds his own business, right? Of course, we have seen him being active in politics. Maybe he was doing that as a hobby, right? As Zimbabweans, we have a problem of entitlement, right? We think just because a person is a public figure or is a leader, they owe us their saving, right? Tendai BIti is a very brilliant person, and a brilliant person can do anything. This guy would actually deliver, right? He doesn't do the nonsense that Mnangagwa is doing. Nothing, right? Would actually deliver a whole lot of things, right? Him running his own law firm, law practice, again, is a successful guy, right? So he is somebody who isn't really 100% vested into politics, who would actually deliver something during the GNU. But now we have people who are vested 100% in it. Why would they be vested 100% in it? The running of a nation, the running of government rinofana kunge riri side job, inofana kunge iri responsibility yekuti tiri kuita majuti ekucleana maplates enyika. Nhasi imba namba ningi ndoiri kucleana maplates enyika, imba namba ndoiri kucleana maplates enyika, iyi ndoiri kutsvaira payadi penyika namangwana, ndoiri kuita sei. That is what government should be about, not this nonsense of entitlement.
The agenda must be stopped. Zimbabwe is already fragile. Zimbabwe is already vulnerable. Without the self-induced disaster of a poisonous, toxic agenda of a third term.
All right, so I'll be forced to cut this video at 20 minutes. I'm just going to continue for 5 more minutes, such that when this video remains on live, the main focus should be the Armageddon, the looming disaster that may be happening in Zimbabwe. Remember, on more than 10 videos, we have been saying that Zimbabwe is not in a transition, it's in a trance, right? There is no transcendence. We are stuck up in a womb, right? In a cloud 3. Stuck up, not in the blues, but this is actually some purplish storm we are in, as I visualize it. Something may happen if something doesn't happen. What am I saying? Ukasabika kuti udye kuguta akuitike, chichaitika ndechekuti unogona kufa nenzara. Okay, so something might happen if something does not happen. There is a need for a resolution. Zimbabwe needs a revival. I'm not talking of a so-called Christian revival. Okay, the idea of Christianity and things like that is ill-advised, ill-directed in Zimbabwe. I think a lot of Zimbabweans should stick to the classic Roman Catholic so far right about now. All right. So I'm very glad that we're coming from an era, we are entering a new era. So a whole lot of some voodoo nonsense has expired. People actually didn't come to realize that this stuff doesn't work, but by the grace of God, they've tried it all and it never worked, and now they are broke. Right, so we'd see a whole lot of nonsense in Zimbabwe. There was a trend coming from the days after the land reform, right? Sekuru ningi, tete ningi, sekuru ningi, tete ningi, right? Vachivita vanosvikirwa chichi kuti vazive kuti ava vana ana unzwisa kuti chinonzi havi chii, right? I-craving, unzi ishavi, eka ihavi, i-craving, right? Okay, at least vakatombita zvekutengesa kuti aiwa munhu akaitwa cornered anoita impulsive, right? MuZimbabweans aenda kuSouth Africa ada kunotenga zvinhu ari kudzoka andofamba step yemuZimbabwean ari muJoburg inonzi impulse, right? Kana munhu ari ine hari ari kufamba netempo ye94 beats per minute, heart rate yake iri kurova sei, right? Kana kuti apinda ma-TM supermarket muri kuridzwa vaporwave music yekuti apinde mucertain mood, kana akusvika kwekupedzisira upopaiswa chocolate zvinodhura apa paapinda mushop mami nezvinhu, those things, impulse, shaping a person's rhythm of impulse. I impulse, we're talking of heart rate, right? So basically all miserable people act like miserable people do. Whether you are miserable at your house, you are miserable at church, you are miserable at home, you behave the very same way as a miserable person, right? Whether you have a headache in the morning or in the afternoon, it's a headache. Okay, whether you have a headache in the bus or wherever, it is a headache, right? So, the nation is in a social cycle headache where the people are nowhere. There is identity crisis because we are entering a new age, which is the age of information, right? Age of information where new trends are supposed to be happening, right? New mindsets are supposed to be happening. We are supposed to seeing paradigm shift, or at least an awakening and actually the opening of the hearts of people, where people would be willing to learn something. But right now, the Tsuroma Ginga mentality in this age, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It never works. So this is a new era. This video, I'll end it at 20 minutes here because we will have to continue it for another context. Right about now, Zimbabwe needs a revival. So, of course, we will not see an Armageddon or Armageddon. The Dagon is done. We are safe to 2025. There. However, I should also end this video quickly. I need to see what's up with these ZIMRA guys, so I can engage the guys in the State House there directly. Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live right about now. Dr. Clarence TV7 Live.